So today, the Trump administration did another illegal act. Trump administration retaliated against employees that stood up in a letter of dissent against them at the EPA. A few days ago, 270 employees from the EPA signed a letter of dissent, a declaration of dissent against the Trump administration. They had a number of different points, but one of their main points was that they were politicizing the agency. And that's very true. I mean, he's politicized every department, right? That's been one of his, one of the things he said he was going to do and has done. However, the EPA should not be political, and it hasn't been. However, Trump did something that is blatantly illegal, yet again, not that he cares, but he put 144 employees on administrative leave. These were some of the employees that had actually signed their names and titles on this declaration of dissent. 100 other employees that also signed the letter anonymously for fear of retaliation, right? Because yeah, we've seen this over and over from Trump, is that he does things that are blatantly illegal, like retaliate against people. Not only is this actually ignoring their First Amendment rights, but it's also blatantly illegal because of the union that they're a part of. Yeah, of course, Lee Zeldin and the Trump administration said its actions were warranted because the employees had signed the letter using their official titles and because the letter had denigrated the agency's leadership. I'm sorry, it wasn't them that denigrated the leadership. They've denigrated themselves by, boasting about how coal is so clean, even though it's literally the dirtiest kind of energy technology that exists. Unbanning asbestos, which coincidentally is one of Russia's biggest exports. That's so weird, right? And so this is actually the letter. You can go ahead and read it. I'm going to put this in my link tree so you can read what these employees wrote to Lee Zeldin. And it says, since January 2025, federal workers across the country have been denigrated and dismissed based on false claims of waste, fraud, and abuse. Meanwhile, Americans have witnessed the unraveling of public health and environmental protections in pursuit of political advantage. Right. The EP was founded because American citizens were getting sick from their water and from their air. And they were getting sick because of corporations dumping things in their water and in the air and making people die of cancer. And literally the Cuyahoga River was on fire repeatedly because of all the chemicals that had been dumped in there. Right. So it truly was about putting more regulations, but that was in order to keep people alive. And since Lee Zeldin, right, under the Trump administration took over the EPA, he's literally switched it on his head. He has claimed that now the EPA is all about boosting corporate profits, literally, which is the opposite of what it's supposed to do, right? And somehow saying that this is going to boost jobs, right? And save people money. No, it's not going to save anyone money. No, especially if we have now higher medical bills and hospital bills. That doesn't save me money. If people are now more handicapped, have more asthma, cancer treatments, those are expensive, right? And corporations being able to pollute more, that doesn't create more jobs. That just boosts the owner's bottom line, and trickle down never happens. Trump is doing everything that he promised, which is basically destroying the EPA from within and deregulating, which is the opposite of what Americans want. Literally all Americans, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum they are on, they want more regulations. Everyone wants clean air and clean water. Straight up, that's what they want.